Good morning to you all out there. Welcome to U45 morning show, and thank you for joining us this morning. I am Shegun Dinola Adeyemi, and you know how it is on U45 morning show. We try as much as possible to take you around the nation. That's through our newspaper review, and we let you know what's happening within and around the nation where you and I live. And then as well, after that, we'll go straight to the hashtag and trends to see also the latest, the trending issues in the country. So without wasting much of our time, we'll go straight to the newspaper review this morning. And then to start, I will be starting with the Nation newspaper. Yeah, starting with the Nation newspaper, and the description headline there says, "Congrats to Tinubu, the visionary, Sanwo-Olu, the actualizer." And now, in 2025, Odo will understudy Sanwo-Olu. This is according to the business mogul Jimoh Ibrahim. And then atop the newspaper, "Our economy not in distress," says Tinubu. That's our president saying our economy is not in distress. And then following that directly, 72,000 tractors needed to enhance food security. You find more of that story on page 4. And then also, Binance exits Nigeria over forex crisis. House launches probe. Now at the bottom of the Nation's newspaper, Senator Jimoh Ibrahim, OFR CFR, signed it, and it said the commissioning of the Blue Line Rail by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu after that of the Red Line Rail last year is testament to the power of vision, the imperative of continuity and diligent execution. Then it went further to say the Babajide Sanwo-Olu government has scored a great goal. Lagos has set the pace for other states to follow. So that's the reason he's saying that in 2025, Odo will understudy Sanwo-Olu to know how it's been done. And away from the Nation newspaper, I go straight to the Guardian. The Guardian newspaper, and the screaming headline there says, "Consumers switch to used gadgets as forex crisis worsens tech adoption." Now, so you're switching to used item. That's the fairly used. And then now there's a breakdown. There's a breakdown here where it says laptops, Core i4, Core i5, and then Pavilion DS. The prices are there, the price range before and now. Right, before Core i4 was 520,000, but now it's 1.5, and then the Pavilion DS was 520,000 also before, but now it's 1 million. And then went straight to smartphones, and then Android from 115,000 naira to 3 million naira, and then to iPhones from 550,000 naira to 2.1 million naira. And then it went again to feature phones, that's 50,000 and above. They went to smart watches. That one is from 150,000 to 550,000 naira. Then went to smart TVs. Says that one went from 220,000 naira to 1.2 million, depending on the brand you're buying, and then the inches as well. You know, we have various inches. And then they went again to refrigerators, single door from 115,000 to 330,000, and then double doors from 450,000 to 950,000, depending on brands and sizes. So that shows a little breakdown from there. Another headlines: WADA, fresh doping hurdles for Team Nigeria ahead of Olympics. That's on news analysis, page 4. No country provides equal opportunities for women, World Bank asserts. You find that on news, page 3. Alleged dollar bribe, court stops Ganduje's probe. Following that directly, more food laden trucks seized at borders as IMF seeks end to hardship. If you go away from that, you see where they say Sharia Council urges federal government to end hunger, insecurity. Find more of that story on news, page 29. Insider collaboration responsible for over 70% of bank frauds. That's according to EFCC. And then federal government maintains UAE visa ban on Nigerians subsists. You find that on news, page 3. And basically it will be a thing of joy, if UAE finally lifts the ban on Nigerians, which is going to make a lot of people happy. And finally, reps uncover fraud in seaport concession, summon ministers. And then away from that, we'll go straight to the Vanguard. I'll be heading to the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And then on the Vanguard newspaper, the front burner headline says Nigeria must battle rising food insecurity as priority. That's according to IMF. And then IMF are still the same people that said petroleum should be sold for 1,000. Okay. Now the writer says capping fuel prices, low electricity tariffs could cost Nigeria 3% of GDP. Calls for cash transfer program implementation. And then away from that, another writer says we must go into production to escape hardship. That's according to governors. Another writer says how Nigeria can stabilize forex, overcome economic woes. That's Mogalu speaking. And then another writer says I'm not desperate to be president, Peter Obi. And another writer says Nigeria's acceptance of grains from war-torn Ukraine, no sign of failure. That's federal government replying to Peter Obi statement. This headline says 4 billion naira COVID-19 grant. On page 9 you find it. Operators not indebted to federal government, others. United Airlines CEO replies rep. And then another headline says Meta reacts through Twitter as Facebook, Instagram crash. You find that on page 2. And another headline says deadline on NIN and account linkage. Most banks yet to implement directive. You find that on page 20. And the divider says accounts without BVN registered SIM affected. And then CBN should consider Nigerians in diaspora. That's the consumer group speaking on behalf of the Nigerians in diaspora. Army not planning to truncate Nigeria's democracy. Lagbaja, that's Chief of Army Staff, saying the Nigerian Army are not planning to truncate Nigeria's democracy. Now, on sports, page 1, African Games. Now, Edem wins Team Nigeria's first medal in Accra. So that will be okay. Let's take a little bit from at top of the newspaper. Lagos LGAs, huge allocations, little development, on page 4. And then another one says Apapa Gridlock returns, trucks ignore Sanwo-Olu's directive. You find that on page 7. And on page 29, Edo Guba, PDP moves to reconcile aggrieved members hold SWC meeting. Another headline says Dangote plans trading arm for refinery. That's on page 19. And then on page 8, you see Nigerians shouldn't be hungry, insecure, Sharia Council tells federal government. And then on page 8, why good leadership eludes Africa, Obasanjo, Jonathan, Mahama. On page 8, to know why they say that, go to page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper and you will see it there. And away from the Vanguard newspaper, I move ahead to the Daily Times. The Daily Times, the screening headline there says tribalism, election rigging, bane of leadership in Nigeria, says Jonathan. And then you find that on page 2 of the Daily Times. And then atop the newspaper, it says aviation stakeholders fret over Onosayu's report, revenue deductions. And then just below the newspaper there, EFCC blames banks for 70% of financial crimes. And then another headline says food crisis, federal government justifies grains donation from Ukraine. You want to know what they said, how they are able to justify it? Go to page 4 of the Daily Times and you'll find it. And on page 2, 888 candidates fail law school exams. That's according to MBA, because yesterday was the graduation ceremony for law school students, and then our lawyers, our barristers. Okay. Another on page 2 now. Minister about power plant to feed national grid. And then another headline says EFCC arrests 21 trucks smuggling food items across Nigeria's border. You find that on page 2 of the Daily Times. And then away from that, go straight to the Punch newspaper. And on the Punch newspaper, the front burner headline says federal government intercept 141 grain trucks, drivers threaten strike over attacks. And the rider says customs seize 120 smuggled grain trucks, EFCC intercepts 21, Tinubu orders sale of forfeited food. And another rider says truck owners threaten to stop transporting food over attacks, says no insurance for looted foodstuffs. Atop the newspaper, that's the Punch newspaper, Obasanjo unveils new book on leadership at 87th birthday. And then following that closely, Nigeria's electricity, few subsidies may gulp 7 trillion naira. That's according to IMF. And an army chief dismisses coup calls, demands good leadership. And away from that, if you come below the newspaper, underneath you see 767 manufacturers shut down in 2023. That's according to Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, MAN. You find that on page 29 of the Punch newspaper. Trial, suspected killer of Ekiti monarchs remanded. You find more of that story on page 44. And then finally on the Punch newspaper, reps grill ministers over port concessions Tuesday. And we'll go straight to the Daily Trust, right, away from the Punch, and straight up to the Daily Trust. And the screaming headline there says terrorists abduct scores of female IDPs in Borno. And then the rider says they left camp in search of firewood, community leader says. And then only 4 out of 117 returned so far. Now another rider says military, Borno government more. Atop the newspaper, you see where it's written tribalism, flawed elections bane of quality leadership. That's according to Jonathan. And then mixed feelings as Binance exits Nigeria. Also, Lassa fever kills 13 as measles. Buruli also hit Benue. And then just below the newspaper, you see where it's written, federal government to Israel, stop war on Gaza. And that will be it for the Daily Trust. And I move straight to Nigeria Tribune. And the Nigeria Tribune, the screaming headline there says, why Africa is poor despite $96.5 trillion natural wealth. You find more of that story on page 15. And then the writer says, African Development Bank President Adesina. So that's Adesina saying that, and because we all wonder why Africa is so poor. And on the top of the newspaper headlines, Binance ends Naira services after government crackdown. And then power outage delays plenary at Senate. And also, Army has no desire to truncate democracy. That's according to Chief of Army Staff. And then another headline says, Tinubu must not jettison restructuring. That's according to Afenifere. And then another headline says, EFCC arrests 21 food-laden trucks bound for Chad, Cameroon. And on page 30, you see the headline that says, Osun judiciary workers suspended 3-month strike. Still on page 30, accepting grains from Ukraine doesn't translate to failure. Federal government replies Obi. And then below the newspaper, Nigeria must recruit selfless transformational leaders. That's according to Obasanjo. You find that on page 10. And the writer says, Jonathan, Mahama, Kuka, Abiodun, others honor him at 87. And then finally on Nigerian Tribune, Ondo Guba, PDP may adopt zoning. That's on page 10 of this newspaper. And then you see it says stakeholders fail to reach agreement on consensus candidates. 2020 loss taught us bitter lesson. That's according to Makinde. And then away from that, we go straight to the Daily Sun. And the Daily Sun, the screaming headline there says, how we are taking economy out of woods, Tinubu. And then the writer says, admits country facing challenges but insists economy not distressed. And atop the newspaper, I'm not desperate to be president. That's according to Peter Obi. And then the writer says, insists it's shame for Nigeria to get grains from war-torn Ukraine. And then another writer says, nothing wrong with accepting aid. That's according to ministers. To know what's happening here, go to page 28 of the Daily Sun and you will find it there. Another headline says, Sharia Council blast federal government for poor state of affairs. And then the writer says, wants no solution to issues bedvilling nation until leaders summon political will to tackle corruption. Until leaders summon political will to tackle corruption. You find that on page 27. And also on page 27 it says democracy not under threat. That's according to Lagbaja, the army chief. And also on page 27, still Ogun Governor Abiodun eulogizes Obasanjo. The writer says he calls him champion for good governance. And the headline on page 6 says the Sun publish our partner schools to promote STEM studies amongst girls. All right, so away from that, we go straight to leadership newspaper, and that'll be the last one. So let's go to leadership newspaper. What we have there, the screaming headline there says, "Only drastic actions can save Nigeria's economy." That's according to Moghalu. And then the writer says, advises Tinubu to reject cabinet, go after bank CEOs over forex manipulations. And then economy not in distress, president replies. Now, awards push to do more, say governors. Then another writer says, I'm not desperate to be president. That's Obi. It says, we recognize those daring to seize possibilities. Under Isaiah says. And then another one says, federal government blames food security on smuggling, flooding, and others. Well, atop the newspaper, coup threats, army has no desire to truncate democracy. That's according to Lagbaja. And then dollar video, only EFCC can prosecute Ganduje. That's court giving their injunction. Well, and that will be all for the newspaper headline this morning on U45. I'll go on a short break, and then when I return, it will be time for hashtag and trends. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
Some school of thoughts believe the major challenges confronting Nigeria as a nation is caused by poor leadership. How true is this? You and I can actually put government into tools to deliver the dividends of democracy. Join us every Saturday by 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Let us look at the issues confronting us as a nation together with talk heads. Nigeria can be great again. I'm Adenike Oweye Ajiboye. Keep it date.
What up, guys? How's your day going? How are you doing this? I want to believe that you're having fun, right? This bright and sunny day. You know that once you see this duo on your TV screen, we're here to serve you some entertainment.
And of course, entertaining gist coupled with good music won't hurt anybody, right? So here on Super Lunch, we get to entertain you, educate you on recent happenings in the world of entertainment. I am your girl, Eva Grace.
And I am Shegun Denola Adeyemi, the Duke of your airwaves. You know how it is. We serve you good entertainment Mondays all through to Fridays. And that's how we do. We'll take you on a smooth ride of entertainment. So don't go nowhere. Join us every Mondays to Fridays. We love you guys.
There's no place for pretense. I can't watch you stand there. Oh no.
Ó ta lẹ́nu, ó pọ̀ lẹ́nu, ó dùn lẹ́nu. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni o, ó ta lẹ́nu, ó pọ̀ lẹ́nu, ó dùn lẹ́nu. Yusuf Murtala ni orúkọ ti tèmi Funky ọmọ ẹ̀lẹ̀ tó gbásìkì tó dùn tó kí tó yí gbogbo. Ẹ pàdé mi ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Thursday 8:30 to 9:30 àti gbogbo ọjọ́ Saturday 1 to 2 fún ètò tó ga jù. Ẹ má miss ẹ̀, ó ga jù lẹ́tò. Ẹ pàdé mi, ó ṣàfàfà.
Lẹ́nu ó pọ̀ lẹ́nu ó dùn lẹ́nu. Come what I cannot do.
Welcome to Naija Plus. Make you not touch that there, make your finger for no. Wetin be your plan for your country, and wetin you sef want make your country do for you. You need to give something before you take something. Now the only way matter fit balance. No be say fowl no plan to fly you, but the power no carry am. As matter dey shele for inside Naija, make you sef chook your mouth, make we build our country. No be every time we go talk things bad. Come out for that corner before mosquito bite your tortoise. Oya, e get as e happen for your area and you want make plenty eyes see am, make you hear am, make you for reach authority. You get video of the scene? Send am sharp sharp. Before I forget, now top super screen with there and my name now Mr. Peace. That MC with a biggie swag. Naija na for everybody. Make you not touch that there, make your finger for no.
the sky, ladies and gentlemen.
Demand attitude.
You're welcome and thank you for joining us. It is still U45 morning show on right about now. It is time for hashtag and trends, and our hashtag and trends we're starting with violence. Alright, so this is according to Daddy Freeze. And Daddy Freeze is saying, well, it's not really violence per se. So Daddy Freeze says, when searching for a wife, stop searching for a praying wife. Then went further to say, you have a mouth, pray for yourself. Then in brackets put Matthew 6:6. He said, instead search for an honest, faithful, considerate, driven and righteous wife. It will reduce prayer points. Well, because I mean, if she's all of this, you don't have to pray for her to have a good heart, for her to be honest. You understand? And then talking about having a good heart and being honest and being considerate. Now we move straight to Israel DMW and his estranged wife. So now Israel's wife came out to say she has returned his bride price, right? That she has returned. He said Nigeria's left turn in between as Israel DMW's ex-wife claims her bride price has been returned while it claims it hasn't. So now, Israel now said, does a lady personally return a bride price to her husband through SMS? Said, was it even paid through SMS? How is a bride price returned? You go what? Anyway, so now the thing is, when he had an interview, that's Israel DMW had an interview with Daddy Freeze, he said that during the ceremony and all of that, the bride price and all, that he spent roughly 2 million naira. You understand? I even think the government should have a law in place that says for your wedding, just make it small and you shouldn't spend more than 300,000. Whatever you want to do within that budget, you should do it. Because I mean, 2 million, you can establish yourself with that 2 million, and then use it to do wedding, and then after the wedding, you're back to, oh God. So now. He said that she wasted his time, his family's time, his Oga's time, that's Davido's time, you understand? And that, so when she wanted to return, that she sent him 1,000 naira to his account. That is that how he paid the bride price? And besides, the bride price should not be paid to him. It should be returned to his family, not to him. You understand? Because it wasn't him who paid, it was the entire family that paid the bride price. That the bride price should be returned to his family. And then, but then the lady is saying this, so they asked him, how was it? He said, okay, so we'll get to that now. He said his biggest problem, or what he detests the most, or what annoys him the most, is the parents of his wife. So in one tweet that he sent, then was plenty courses and these courses. I will not read all these courses. You read it and see. But he The child late course, anyway. Then it went further to say the parent that because the parent removed a girl that was living comfortably in her husband's house to go and stay with one Okpos in Abuja, a 28 years old lady that lives alone in Abuja, that she should go and stay with that one. Come on. That they are trying to milk him. That they were even regretting that why did they not marry their daughter off to Senator Ned Nwoko when they saw the way his sister, that's Regina Daniel, is living. My God, is living a beautiful and a wonderful lifestyle. So they wanted that for their daughter. So now they are regretting why they did not send their daughter to Senator Ned. Instead, they married him off to Israel. So all of these things got him angry, and he's saying, "Look, you know what? These parents, they are not it at all." And we always say, "Look, you're not just marrying a man. You're not just marrying a woman. You're marrying the family." So do your investigation right. Make sure that the family your partner is coming from is not the one that will give you high blood pressure or hypertension. And then Israel went further to say that when he met her, she was struggling with 3,000 followers on Instagram, but now she has over 100,000 followers and she's verified. So now she believes she don't arrive. And then he said she believes she's a public speaker, an influencer. So now she can do as she likes. But anyway, I just believe that people will learn one way or the other. All right, so quickly let's go to Abuja. So now this one says Uni Abuja charges law, arts and other non-science students 5,000 naira for lab coat. Excuse me, what is the lab coat for? Now I don't understand. Now this lab coat that are charging 5,000 naira for now, what are they going to use the lab coat to do? So is this not criminal? And it's not only Uni Abuja. All these nonsense schools around, they'll be charging you for what you don't need. They'll ask you to pay for journal year 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4. Journals that you don't need. Journals that you hardly read. Journals that you will not even read. You pay for it. I mean, it's a shame. The system, the educational system in this country is a shame. And then the Minister of Education has no idea of what's happening. I even believe that the minister and the palm secretary are just figureheads that do not know what they are really doing per se. I'm sorry, because I mean I see no reason why this is in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. This is what they are doing to students, law, arts, and other non-science students to be paying 5,000 naira for lab coat. Lab coat. The coat should be worn in the lab. Law students, they go lab. You should understand, but then it is what it is. Everybody is corrupt. Everybody just wants to make money, and well, it's a means of generating revenue for the school. Anyway, away from that now to Tim Godfrey. Now Tim Godfrey say, if bro is still telling you to be patient. Now he's talking to our beautiful, lovely sisters here. He said, if bro is still telling you to be patient, to wait, I have plans. He said, give me a couple of more years. And then he said, if after 7 years of dating, hear me and hear me clearly, walk away. When you have dated this person for 7 years and he's still saying, give me time. Give you time for what? Time for what? You understand? It's saying walk away. Waka. Yeah, anyway, waka to now that one concern you. But it's just saying waka. And they said, you are not the walls of Jericho. What did I say? Walk. What? Walk away. That you are not the wall of Jericho. Well, I wouldn't know if that is the best idea, but then if you ask me, I'll just say talk things over. I mean, you've deposited a lot, you've contributed a lot to that. You to read between the lines and know what you're doing. I mean, I don't mature, you don't have to. 7 years for what? 7 years for what? And see, you are 25, you are dating for 7 years. You're in trouble. Even if you are 27, dating for 7 years, for what? Anyway, moving on. Now, this one, I love this one. It says, Skepta reveals that all the earnings from a song, Tony Montana, featuring Portable, will go to Portable. Skepta is worth over $20 million, and to him, taking anything from this will just be him being selfish, according to him. So he said, note, so this was said, note, Skepta paid for everything from the audio to the video and everything. Like Portable was always say, person wey go help you, no go stress you. And it's true. Portable always says that. He said, person wey go help you, no go stress you. And now, Skepta, Portable they went to studio, recorded everything. Portable did not pay a dime. He paid for everything. He paid for his accommodation, dashed him money. He saw where he dashed him, is it £20,000? Dashed him money. And then they did the musical video. He paid for everything. And then he's still saying that every penny that comes from this song that is going to Portable, that everything will go to Portable, that is not taking a dime from it. Now, someone now responded, I will never understand how the universe works. He said, this dude is not even close to God, rarely pays tithes, fights, carries women, smokes, does every bad thing known to man. But here he is. God is steadily blessing him. I mean, it's just God that blesses a man, true. And then when God sends you to your helper, or when God sends your helper to you, you will wonder how everything is just working for you. I mean, it was just a couple of years back, just 2 years ago, if you ask me, Abi. Well, a couple of years back that Olamide did a song for Portable, Zazu. The same Zazu has carried him over the years up to this moment that Skepta is doing another song for him and then giving him all the funds they will generate from the song. I mean, it is just God. It is just God. No man can do that. Alright, finally, from our hashtag and trends now, France becomes the first country in the world to make abortion a constitutional right. It shock you, Abi? Well, someone has raised this bill before, I think in 18th century or 1918 thereabout, but it did not see the light of the day. But now it's been passed to law, and then approximately 90% of the House supported it. So now it is a constitutional right. Well, it's good, it's bad. Well, so everything has the good side, everything has the bad side. So you weigh them and see which one outweighs the other. Now, even in Lagos, there's a body that is saying, is clamoring for abortion to be approved, right? To be legalized, right? Okay. So now the person's reason for saying that is, what if it's an incest? Like a father impregnating his daughter. You understand? A father impregnating his daughter. Now, if the daughter That's an incest. Now, if the daughter gives birth to that child, what happens? The child becomes the sister, or should I say stepsister, to the child's mother. So it's crazy. So I feel some should be approved, right? And then it went further to say in his submissions, right? All of this is in his submissions. It went further to say that if it's a rape situation, so some of these things should be put into consideration. And then someone asked that, what about their beliefs, the belief system? I mean, we're Christians in this part of the world, we're Muslims in this part of the world, and we believe in our religion. So, and this is against the belief of the religion. What should they do? And he made submissions, which I feel, well, one way or the other, we will need to look into this and not shy away from it. Anyway, that is all we'll be able to take on hashtag and trends this morning on U45. And right about now, it's time for sports. So just sit back and relax, and we'll feed you with the highlights of the happenings in the world of sports. Do not go anywhere. Stay tuned.